I know you do them all over the state of South Carolina, but to come out of state to one of these Gamecock Club events to show the support?
You know, we've got 21 scholarship players on our team from the state of Georgia. We signed 6 guys this year, and really, I think moving forward, you know, we've got to recruit the state of Georgia extremely well. There's so many good players and there's outstanding coaches in this state. So it's really important to be here and have a presence here. And we've got a lot of Gamecocks. Really, other than Charlotte, our largest contingent of graduates is in Atlanta.
How important will Bryson, a local guy, be not only for the defense but just from a pass rushing perspective this year?
Well, I think Bryson needs to have a big year for us. I mean, he's a guy that's going to be able to play stack linebacker as well as rush. He's got really natural rush instincts and able to flip his hips and move his hands and feet at the same time, which is hard for some guys. But he also plays extremely well in space at linebacker and played really well for us last year. So we're expecting a big year from Bryson.
What do you anticipate from Jameis Williams and Aaron Sterling this season?
Well, Aaron's a guy we were really excited about. Was a very good player at Tucker, and he got him to the state championship game. We've got really great initial quickness and a guy that we're expecting to come in and compete, and I know he will. And Jam's a guy, again, we're really excited about Jam. I felt like in Gwinnett County, he's probably been the best player in Gwinnett County the last 2 or 3 years. Saw him in early there at Archer, and then this past year at Grayson, but a guy that we've got a lot of confidence in.
When you look at this area as a whole, how does it stack up to some of the other major metro areas in terms of talent and overall? Well,
this past year in the NFL draft, the state of Georgia had 29 guys drafted, and that was more than Florida, Texas, or California. So it says a lot about it. We've got 5 coaches in the state of Georgia recruiting. So obviously we've got a lot of familiarity with Brian McClendon and Lance Thompson, myself. Coleman Hutzer does a really good job in the Gwinnett area. Mike Peterson's done a really nice job for us on the west corridor of Georgia. Carrollton down to Valdosta, and then Pat Washington's down in the southeast part of the state. So you know, it's critical for us to be able to come because we've only got 4.5 million people in South Carolina, and we've got really good players and we've got really good coaches. We don't have the numbers necessarily every year, year in, year out, and the proximity to Atlanta, 3 hours from the Columbia, is outstanding.
Speaking of Mike Peterson, how have you seen him grow as a coach over his first year?
Well, I look at Darius English, who's had very little production his previous 3 years at South Carolina, and I think he was 4th in the Southeastern Conference in sacks. So stats speak for themselves as far as those things are concerned, and he did an outstanding job with Darius. Really, the entire room. He got Dennis Wanham from Stevenson High School here in Atlanta, played extremely well as a freshman, and Dennis got our MVP of our spring. Tell you what kind of production he had. So, you know, the players are usually a reflection of their coach, and those guys have played at a high level, and I compliment Mike for that.
2 seniors on the defensive line, Taylor Stallworth and Dante Sawyer. Where have you seen them make strides? And where have you seen those 3 guys make strides from the end of last season to now?
Well, Dante is a situation where Dante had a labrum surgery last year. He missed an entire off season of lifting, and that affects you. It affects you. He played much better as the year wore on because he's been in the weight room all year, and you've got to build strength levels in order to withstand and play in our league. Taylor Stallworth, I think, will be as good an inside player in the SEC. He's a guy that plays with good pad level, good strike. He can anchor. He does have pass rush ability inside. And Uric Jones is a guy that I think improved tremendously from day one. He's a guy that didn't really find a home position-wise till we got there, and has been a guy that really has been a productive guy for us.
Evan Henson, when he got finished with basketball, how much did you see from him before he left for the summer? What's kind of his role on the single?
Evan has stayed in Columbia for May, so he's in May. You know, knowing that he missed a lot of the off-season program, but so he's lifting with our guys right now. We got about 45 guys on campus lifting right now, and he's one of those guys.
Are there any of the signees who won't be able to come in May because of graduation or other circumstances?
Right now, everyone's on track to be ready to go for summer 1. I think Keyshawn Nixon's got one other class to take, and we're kind of working through that right now. But I think everybody will be ready for summer 1, to my knowledge.
And how have the players?
I know more probably in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We still are kind of working through some things, and it's hard sometimes depending on where their graduation is. And some schools are a little bit more strict than others about letting them, leave early.
And how have the players responded to Eric Walford so far?
I think Eric's done a really nice job for us. Excited about what he brings to the table and his experience, obviously being a head coach as well, and seeing things as far as big picture is concerned. So I like how we gelled up front. I think moving Zach Bailey to right tackle was a good move for us. We've got some good competition at left tackle, some competition inside, I think we've got 8 guys right now that we feel pretty comfortable about on the offensive line.
I think Zach had some off-season surgery. What's the status on him?
He's fine. He's out of a cast next week, and he'll be able to get rolling pretty soon.
Were there any other minor surgeries?
That was it.
And I know the chief focus obviously is on the football operations building, but what would you like to see next? Where's the next area of improvement that
Well, obviously that's a pretty big operation to get that done, so I just want to get that done. I'm not worried about anything else after that.
For you, what's, I guess, the best feature, or biggest part of that I guess excites you the most?
Well, I think it's a one-stop shop. And at the end of the day, when you bring a young man and his family to campus, people want simple.
Yeah.
They want to be able to see this is where my son's going to sleep, this is where my son's going to study, and this is where he's going to get developed as a football player. And they don't like fracture. They don't like complicated. And right now we're a little complicated, in my opinion. And it's going to be exciting to have everything under one roof, and for a young man and his family to see the direction of the program. Coach Tanner always talks about the investment in the student athlete. And really, in my opinion, in the football program, this is the first time we have wholeheartedly invested in our program and not piecemealed our program. And so that's what's exciting, and that's what's going to be different about South Carolina.
Are you getting tired of being asked about slides and miniature golf courses at your operations?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Biggest weight room in the state, though, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
What's been the most challenging aspect of turning around the Gamecock program since arriving?
Well, I think regardless of where your program is, every day is challenging, but it's also an opportunity to embrace every single day. I love going to work every day. I work with great people. We work with great kids. We're all in the boat rowing in the same direction, and we're going to get there. And it's a fun process to work through. I enjoy that part. That's what you do. That's why you do what you do. And I enjoy building the program from where we were to where we are now, and as we move forward. We certainly are a long way from being where we want to be.
How far away is Jackson from earning an offer?
I'm a dad when it comes to that. I'm not a coach. Y'all take care.
Thank you, Coach.